The ayes to the right, 286. The noes to the left, 344. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
Once again, a vote in Parliament, and once again, a defeat for the government. For the third time, Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit plan failed.
Mr. Speaker, I fear we are reaching the limits of this process in this House. This House has rejected no deal. It has rejected no Brexit. On Wednesday, it rejected all the variations of the deal on the table. And today, it has rejected approving the withdrawal agreement alone.
Unless something changes, Britain is now set to leave the EU on April 12. May could request a new vote, an extension, or even cancel Brexit or call a new referendum. But it's uncertain how long she will remain Prime Minister. Leading Conservatives are already positioning themselves to replace her. And the opposition also wants her to leave.
Mr. Speaker, the House has been clear. This deal now has to change. There has to be an alternative found. And if the Prime Minister can't accept that, then she must go, not at an indeterminate date in the future, but now.
The EU had anticipated May's defeat and will hold a special summit on April 10th, just 2 days before Britain may now have to leave the Union.
Without a positive choice, the default option will be a no deal, which has become more likely. It was never our scenario, but the EU27 is now prepared.
That would actually be good news for these people. Brexit supporters were poised to celebrate their departure from the EU on Friday. But now it's doubtful they'll get what they want.
We had a vote. We had a democratic vote. It needs to count.
We wanted Brexit today, and we want this lot to agree to get us out as soon as possible. And that they are going to betray us yet again, I fear.
No deal, new elections, a second referendum, no Brexit. In fact, anything is still possible. The British Parliament has once again voted, and once again, still nothing is clear.
So, what does this mean for Brexit? Let's try to get some clarity now. DW's Charlotte Potts is in London for us. Good morning to you. The UK was supposed to be waking up today, the day after Brexit, newly exited from the EU. Instead, we have no clarity on how or even if Brexit will happen. First off, how are people there reacting to that?
Well, the mood is quite somber this morning in London. You just saw those Leave supporters. They were protesting here on the streets yesterday, demanding an exit from the European Union immediately, no matter at what cost. They even want to leave without a deal. And then you have those pro-Europeans that also came out yesterday that are hoping now that the momentum is finally there for a second referendum or for even no Brexit at all. And then there are those that are quite tired of this political infighting that's been going on over the past 3 years since the referendum, and they just want the country to get on with it, no matter how.
Yeah, just get on with it. Well, speaking of getting on with it, Theresa May's deal has now been defeated 3 times. Is it dead, or could she get on with it? Could we see the Prime Minister bringing this deal to MPs for yet another attempt?
Well, there seems to be still some life in it. Theresa May has proven incredibly resilient in this whole process. So she might want to try to bring it back in front of Parliament for a 4th time, indeed, after 3 times defeat, which would be quite incredible. And it doesn't look like she will get the numbers then that the majority will vote for her deal. And then we are looking at 2 options. One option would be that the UK indeed leaves the European Union on April 12th without a deal at all. That could have catastrophic consequences for the country, the people, the economy. Or Theresa May goes back to Brussels and asks for another extension, for a longer extension, where then the UK would have to indicate and find some clear path forward, which could be a second referendum, for example, or remaining in the customs union.
Now, if nothing changes before April 12th, what about the possibility that the UK would actually be forced to participate in EU parliamentary elections?
Well, a lot of people wouldn't like that here, especially those hardliners in the Tory party. But I think the more pressing issue is about this whole no-deal scenario, because European leaders and also leaders here in the UK have now come out and said this scenario looks more and more likely. On Monday, Parliament is going to vote on a series of alternatives here, whether to, for example, remain in a customs union or hold a second referendum. But if that deadlock is not solved, if there is no majority found, then we're looking at a no-deal scenario on April 12th, because it's up to European leaders, really, to grant that extension to the UK. So it could be two very, very nerve-wracking weeks coming up here in the UK.
All right, Charlotte Potts for us in London. Thank you very much.